Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Mel here. I hope you're having a great week so far and I hope you've been having some crafty fun. As promised, this is the video you should have seen last time. If you watched the last video, you'll know I had a major disaster with a very hot tea and a dog who is a tea addict. Anyways, so we were going to do Christmas in July, so we're now doing Christmas early August. It'll be fine. So originally what I wanted to do was make a wreath that was an advent. Now this isn't the original wreath and I ran out of ribbon, so it's all multicoloured green, but you won't really see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. The original wreath size was about 75 centimetres, whereas this one is, I think it's 45 or 50, I cannot remember. When you're looking at it like that, I think it's only 40, but anyway, I don't know if everything will fit now, because the original one I had my little adventy bits on it and they fitted perfect. This one obviously is smaller, we might only get 12, but we'll see how we get on. So my original plan was to do gorgeous little bulbs and you would open them up and your wee gift would be inside. These aren't the original ones either. I had cut these out to make sure my pattern worked, and I cut out all 24 just to make sure I liked the size and they fitted around my hoop and everything. But I had put, I don't know if you can see the little hole, these were in the wrong place. The actual pattern should look like this. So when you curve it up, when you curve it up, the little hole is up the top. I'll show you how that works. But the pattern, my original one, you can see it's just slightly different size. I'd put it too low down so that when I actually went to tie it up, it wouldn't work. So what I've had to do is punch some holes and glue them so that it held together, because it would not stay. But I'll show you how it should be. So all I've got to do is cut out some more leaves and then we can get started. Now remember, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you're not already, maybe subscribe. And again, if this video goes a bit weird, it's just because I'm trying to do it all again. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you how you make up the little light. Now I had seen online lots of paper Christmas lights. I'll pop a picture here so you can see, and then I spent my scribbly time making up my ideas as I always do, and then I send it over to my silhouette and I draw it all out and then I cut it and test it. It takes a wee while, but I absolutely love it. It's my favourite thing to do. But I hadn't realised I'd put the holes too low. So anyway, what you want to do is when you get your pattern, you're going to take the wee bits out. You're going to fold along these score lines like so. Then you're going to take, I'm just going to use a bone folder, but anything you want to give your tops of the light bulb a little curl, and this will just help it come together. Then you'll fold back these little tabs like so, and then on this tab you'll see here you're going to add some glue. I'm just using hot glue, but as long as you use a glue that dries clear, any glue will work. Double-sided sellotape, if that's your thing, use that. And that's it. Now at this point, you're going to add in your little gift, so whether it be sweets or any wee treats, anything you want, you're going to add that in. Now I'm just using some white twine, but you can use anything you want to tie yours together. And all you're going to do, coming from the inside, you're going to feed it all the way back and forth. Now that they're all through, you're going to pull it tight, bring it as close together as you can. Now if you're not planning to put anything in yours, you could just glue it. So all I've added is a little glue on each side and it will glue closed. But if you're doing like I am, you're going to add in a wee treat or anything, you would just tie it closed. Now you want to make sure your best to try and get everything to come as tight as possible. Then tie it up. Now it doesn't look great, but don't worry, that's what we're tops for. Now you get a strip like this, ignore this bit, I'd already glued it. You can see there's a little line And what you do is you're going to curve this as well, sorry. Then add your glue up to that line and bring it round and glue it. And that becomes your little top for your little bulb. So then what you would do is take either side, you're going to feed it through the little holes, making sure they're at the top side of the way you're going to hang your little light. To get this one in, so I'm going to trim this one since I've got a little knot. Do that again. Now what you're going to do is bring all your little ends inside there. It will be tight, but that's what we want because we don't want it opening up. Now if you give it that little, it will hold it, and then if you just pull it a wee bit, and that's your little bulb. Now to make sure this doesn't come out, all I've did is a little knot. Like so. Now, like before, if you don't want to open this, or even if you just want to hold it a bit better, add a dab of glue and just bring it together, and then repeat that all the way around. And that will hold it together. Now you'll see this is one I made, it'll pop open really easy as well, so if you're wanting to do that, because it's just the littlest bit of glue, that would work too. So I'm just going to glue this closed again, sorry about that, I've got bits at the side sitting. And that will just hold it. And then again, what I did, I liked to pinch it a little so it looked almost like a star. Then I'll feed my twine back through. You don't need to go through all of them if you've glued it. 2 will be plenty. Like so. And then you're just repeating what you did with the top, bringing it through one side, then the other. And then we'll just pop that in. Your little light. Nice and simple. Hope you understand that, and I hope it makes sense. Again though, if you are not, or just using these for decorations, you can just add glue onto this bit and glue it in place. There's no need for the string or anything, unless you're going to have a string of lights, and you would just put it through and continue on. Just make sure your little holes all line up. You can see that there, yeah. Now, once I've got these 2 to do, just add my tops back on, then we can get started on the actual wreath. So I cut out a whole lot of leaves. I've used dies and I've used my silhouette cameo, but you can use any shape you want. You can even just use an oval and curve it to make it look like a leaf. Anything, you just want to fill up your wreath. For these more pointy ones, I used a sort of khaki green for the actual cardstock, and then I inked it with Emerald City. I have some that are little 3-point ones, and they're in like a dark green, ignore the rips, and I use the licorice to go on the edges. Then I've got some normal base shapes and some ones like a sycamore leaf that I've used some of this brown gathered twigs, and I just went up this with a thin brush to give it more of a textured look. I also used this Lush Fresh Pear on some white just to give a little touch to this sort of sprig, and then I added some gems that I've coloured up because they were clear, and I used my YG45 to colour them up. And lastly, I have a mixture of some of these sort of curved ones and then ones a bit like this, and you can see I've already shaped everything, and I used evergreen on these ones. Originally I used Emerald City on this one, but you just don't see it, so I went in with the darker green. So now all I'm going to do is begin gluing. Nothing hard about this, you can put them on any way you want and just go wild, but as long as you go in one direction, whatever direction you start to put them on at, follow that direction, so that when you're putting ones on, you're taking the next one and it covers the ends a wee bit. Oh, I'm too low down. So you're just covering the ends a bit like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my hot glue, get some more glue sticks, and we'll get started. So that's me, got all my lights all made up now, and all I've got to do is add my numbers. So I cut these out on my silhouette, as you can see, but you could use die cuts or stickers or anything in your stash. Now, another idea you could do is take more of your twine and just create a big string of lights. It would just look as good. You could have these running along one of your walls, add your numbers on, and it'd still make a great advent. But we're going to add them onto the wreath. Now, this is the difficult bit. I spend forever, I've cut it right down, I spend forever trying to decide how to add these. I'm so annoyed that I couldn't use the big giant wreath because they all fitted perfectly. So I end up just sort of playing about for ages and deciding what to do. So an idea you could do with the wreath is take some more of the twine and tie it actually around the wreath and tuck it under the leaves so that you don't really see it. If you used a more green tone, it would be perfect, or even invisible thread would work great. And then add on your little lights, and then they'll just be hanging from the wreath now, and then you could untie the string or the light string to get into your advents. Just another idea. I end up gluing mine on because I just find it easier, but this is just another idea. I wish I had used some invisible thread because this would have looked really good as well. So I'm going with the glue it down method, easiest one to go with. All I'm doing is using a big blob of hot glue and gluing down my bulbs. Nice and simple, but you could glue the strings down instead if you wanted. So now that I've got all the bulbs on, you can see when I zoom out here, it just shows you all of it in its almost design. I've got 4 left, as you can see, but I'm going to string them across the middle. But first, what I want to do is I want to check all the bulbs. So I'm just going to go around sort of tapping them, and if there's any really loose, I'm going to add in more glue. You'll see this green one's really loose, and that's all I'm going to do. Now with the last 4, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a longer length of the twine just so that it's larger than the wreath width, and what I'm going to do is string them on, and then I'm going to glue the ends of the twine to the back of the wreath. I'm going to cover the ends with some ribbon to hold it in place. I'm just trimming off any long ends. In hindsight, I should have left these because it will help to untie them if you're going to take them off, but I just wanted it to look a bit tidier. Twine's in place, I'm going to glue the little hanging bulbs in place. Now I'm just adding a dab of glue to the top of the twine and then gluing the knot in place. Now in hindsight, I really should have sat this upright so that they could be sitting in place, and off camera I have to adjust them, but it still works out. Lastly, all you've got to do now is add on your numbers if you're adding them. Now you don't need to do this step, but I end up adding them anyway. And it's all finished. Now it's massive, it doesn't fit within the screen. If I zoom out a bit, you'll see it just fits on my desk and no more. But if I take you over onto the door, you'll be able to see what it looks like. So hold on a wee second. And here it is on the door. Now, I'm holding the door with my foot, so I can't really move. But, I mean, it's okay. Maybe I shouldn't have added all the baubles? Fairy lights. But it gives you the idea of what you can do. I mean, check this out. Jury! Yep. So what do you think? Wait and I'll move back to the desk. Back at the desk. So what do you really think? I know it's a bit busy, and if it'd been the larger hoop, it would have looked a bit better. Everything would have been spread out a bit more, and maybe it would have looked nicer. I don't know. If I was to do it again, especially on this size of hoop, I would adjust the size of the bulb. So if your hoop's about 40-45 centimetres, because I think that's actually what it is, not 50, maybe make the bulbs half the size. It would probably work better. And maybe not even bother with the foliage because you hardly see it. Maybe just one or two leaves just sort of sticking out at the sides, or just use the ribbon wrapped round about it. The other thing I would use is maybe some black or green twine instead of the white and wrap it around, and then it looked like the string that you would get from your bulbs. Now the other thing is, if you've glued them on like I have and you haven't tied them, you can still get into them. If you pull off your little top, you can see, now remember mine's are glued, this would just pop open now. You could just untie it. If you leave the strings long enough, you can untie it as well. But if you've tied them on, it's just easy enough to untie them anyway and pop them off. And then it's just a matter of popping it back on and you're ready to go. Ready for next year as well. So even if you haven't filled them yet, you can still go ahead and fill them later. But again, if you've glued them like I have closed, you can only maybe use them once. Maybe twice you could get away with it because you would need to re-glue them, but just so you know. Now guys, remember, I really love hearing what you think. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I know a lot of you don't like my style. I have had a few comments saying that my stuff's too busy. I apologise for that. That's just the way I go. I just want to show you what I can do with my patterns and what you can make. That's all it is. I'm showing you what you can do with one pattern and you just run with it. I mean, you could put these on a big string and have them hanging. That would look amazing. Or you could hang them on some faux lights. Again, then you've got the bright lights coming from them. Be fab for Christmas. Again, I apologise that this wasn't out in time for Christmas in July, but accidents happen. So again, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If not, hey, that's you as well. And I still love to hear what you guys think. Hit that bell button to get notifications on my upcoming videos. And guys, until next time, bye.